when I was first getting into the UAS sector, there were these people who were talking about how drones or unmanned aircraft systems or remotely piloted aircraft are never going to be the quote end all be all. And, a lot of it also came from the concerns that manned pilots, the people who understandably want to be sitting in an aircraft while it flies because there's nothing like it in the world. I would argue there's nothing like, being on a UAS operation as well. Um, but there was this clamoring about, we don't want the UAS or RPA to replace the manned pilots. That they want to be up there in the war in Ukraine and elsewhere. I mean, non-state actors, nation states alike, are that these unmanned aircraft systems are proving, especially with the combination of they and artificial intelligence, to be a lot more than was expected, and themselves also the perhaps main reason, maybe alongside artillery, why the Russian advance has been, I don't know if I could say thwarted, but stymied, and they're starting to lose ground too.
Pilots are reluctant to give up their role to drones, but drones don't just replace planes. They're observation, they're used for smart bombs, and it looks like they're also replacing munitions in some ways. Is there too narrow of a thinking about drones just being re replacements for planes?
Fantastic observation and question. I would liken it to, in the advent of the intercontinental ballistic missiles, there was this tug of war between the United States Air Force and the United States Army about how the Army would claim that these are just large ground-based artillery pieces and that they should fall under the purview of the Army. And the Air Force eventually won that. And so are drones just a different way to be shooting artillery? I mean, they literally come out of tubes that look like mortar tubes. There's smart munitions, loitering munitions, things like that. UAS, RPA are replacing many different, dull, dark, dirty, and more the dangerous missions and tasks that traditionally are done by humans. And it's not just the flying, it's the ground-based robotics. You see it in agriculture. One of the, I would say, more interesting use cases right now that I've seen is how they are they're the CASEVAC. So they're the ground-based, they've got treads or wheels, and they're running up to casualties in the battlefield and able to, on their own, load a wounded soldier onto what amounts to a stretcher on wheels and autonomously or remotely bring them back to safety so that they can be treated and saved.